Hi everyone, welcome back to another video. So this week, or this video, I'm going to be doing a little job for myself, just out in the yard here. So I'll show you. Well, the idea is I'm going to make a carport to go over this concrete bit outside my house. Right, I say carport, but it'd be more like a proper little steel frame building. And I thought this area here, because it's already concrete, it'd be nice to put a roof over it, and then I've got somewhere dry to either park my vehicles like the park now, or just a dry area. I've ordered the steel and the posts. The steel for the rafters is pre-cut, the angles on, but I didn't realise at the time when I did the measuring that this wall is not parallel with this wall, so it's 300mm wider at the bottom than it is at the top, which is not too much of a problem. I've got it all drawn out on CAD anyway, so I'll show you. But what I want to do is get this post as close to that wall as I can, but because of the guttering, I'd either have to have the post stepped out here, which then I'm losing that much space plus the thickness of the post, which I don't really want to lose any more space. So this post will have to be like a dog leg round the guttering, and then this post at this side, because I've already ordered the steel, I didn't order it wide enough for the wide bit across here. This post will have to have a little dog leg in it back out the other way to narrow it up a bit, and that post at that end be fine. That'll be a straight post and a straight post, but again, because of the width of the guttering, I didn't take that into consideration, so this rafter on this side will have to be slightly shorter than the rest of them. And then I was wanting to put like polycarbonate roof sheets on it, like what you do a normal carport with, but they're quite expensive, so I think I'll just put tin sheets on it that look like tiles. It's cheaper and easier to fit. So I've got this drawn in CAD, so this is what it's going to look like. So that's the wall, and then that is part of the house. Like I say, that wall is not parallel with that. When you look at it from above, you can see it's not square. So I'll just have to, well, I'll put that purlin, this purlin on here will be the same as that one, but it'll just be, the run out will be between that purlin and that purlin. Then when I put them sheets on, I'll just have to order the sheets and then trim them down to length once they're on. So that shouldn't be too much of a problem. Then it fills the gap. But like I was saying, with a dog leg for the post to get around the guttering, that bit there is supposed to represent the guttering. And then at the other end, it doesn't matter because there's another wall there, so I can't drive close to that anyway. So that post will be fine as a straight post that clears the guttering as it is. Now this is the steel that I've ordered, so this is 127 by 76 by 13 universal beam, so it's little stuff, but I can make it just like you would do a steel frame building like this. So I can get on and make them rafters. 3 of them will be the same, and then it's just that side, that one there, I'll have to shorten down. Yeah, according to that one will be 2238, and the cut length that they are now is 2460, so a little bit shorter. To check this steel, and it's cut at 6 degrees, not at 12 degrees. So that's, I'll have to go back. If I cut it down to 12 degrees myself, it's going to be too short for what I need. So yeah, I need 4 new bits cut at 12 degrees, not at 6. What I'm going to do is steady start cutting that post. So I've got that post on the saw. I've had to take the jaw off because it won't open wide enough. But I've got that set to 22.5 degrees now, so cut that off. And then that bit will be to cut off as well. So that's what that's going to look like, but I'm just going to set that up on my fabrication bench with the stops on here, so I get my offset right, and then it's nice and flat and parallel. Now that's that set up. Didn't quite match up to start with, but then I measured this. This measures actually 129, not 127. Obviously there's a bit of tolerance in that. Yeah, 129, and I'd got it set up for 127, so I set them on there and measured back to there, because I want 80mm offset plus the 129 that is. So that just wants cleaning up, some bevels putting on it, and then that can get welded in there. I'll get it tacked together and then I'll go and offer it up, see what it looks like. There'll be a base plate to put on it and some holes to drill in there and there. 4 holes to drill to bolt the rafter to. Right, I've got that post tacked together. It does look, well, if you're a tall fella, it'd be a bit of a headbanger, but when you're only 5'5", it's fine. So I might take that round now and offer it up and see if that's going to be all right. And then, yeah, weld it up. Yeah, so it's about perfect. Nice bit of clearance around the guttering. And then nice and close to the wall. Alright, this post needs a bit cutting out for the cleat to go to hold the purlin. So it needs like 24mm cutting out and 75mm back that way, and then there'll be a cleat like that to weld into it. And also there'll be the cleats to weld onto the rafters once I get them made. So I've got them drawn up and they're ready to cut out. So I have some 6mm already on here. It doesn't really need to be cut out at 6mm. 5mm would have been enough, but I don't want to change plate over, so I'll just use that bit of 6mm. And so there's 8 of them and 4 of them there to press as well to make an angle. So yeah, I'll get that lined up and then yeah, we'll get them cut out. That's them cut out, so I've just cut the holes out as well for an M12 bolt. The other ones are on there, I don't need them just at the moment. So these ones, press them, like a 90-degree press on there, so I get all 4 of them pressed, then yeah, cut that out of there, and then weld it into there. That's that end cut out and tacked in. So it was a good guess when I pressed them because they're absolutely bang on 90 degrees. That was like my first guess, so that's pretty good. I've just been working out what to do for a base plate. So I cut that one out. I had some offcuts like that, 10mm. So that was sort of the biggest I could get out of it. But I just don't think it's going to be big enough. I know it's only a lightweight shed, but I just don't know. It depends what I'm going to do with the concrete, whether I make some bases, dig some bases out and re-concrete some pads, or whether I just bolt it to the original concrete. I'm not sure, but I was just thinking with them, they may be too close together. So I'm going to cut out some bigger ones. So these are 200 by 170 plates, which that one is 150 by 200. And the other plates, the holes are a bit further towards the edge. So I've just lifted that bit of 12mm plate on, and I'll cut them out of there. And then I've them bits of off-cut 10mm plate, I'll use them to cut the end plates out for the rafters. I've got all them cut out. Some of the holes are a little bit tight. I'll have to just tickle them through with a die grinder. Some are alright and some are a little bit tight. I should have cut them out half a mil bigger than what they are when I cut them out, but it won't take long just to go through them. You're better off doing them now than when you're trying to put the shed together and you can't get the bolts through. I had a bit of a mishap with one of them because the plate I was cutting was only narrow. Was barely wide enough for the plate. It dropped down and then it cut into it like that. Similar with that one. And it makes it, I really hate these triangles. You see a bit of plate on there and it cuts this bit out, and then that bit of plate is no longer supported, so then the plate drops down. It's alright when you're doing big bits like that, but when you're trying to cut out a little stuff, they're a pain in the ass. And I also cut one out that's just got the whole sentence marked, and I'll drill that through, and then I can use that as a template for drilling, for putting on there, marking where it needs to be drilled through, and then I know that all the posts are going to be the same as the plates. Yeah, I'll get them cleaned up and then use that template to mark on that one, drill this one through, weld the end plate on, and this post is finished. And then we'll do the other dog leg post, and then the other two posts are just straight posts there, nice and easy. And then hopefully by the time I've got that done, my new rafters should be here, hopefully at the right angle. I've got this one all welded up then, so I didn't need to bevel across the web. It was thin enough not to need beveling. It just made it more difficult to weld up. So I welded it up and then ground it off and then went over it again just to make it look a bit nicer. But yeah, that's all welded up. That welded in at that end, and then the base plate welded on as well. I've got this clamped on here, so I drilled this out for me template. We'll transfer punch through there. I think I'll probably just, because I'm only using 12mm bolts, 12mm holes, I'll just drill it through with a battery drill, I think. Could do it with a mag drill, but I think it'd be more hassle than it's worth. Let's see. See how I get on with the battery drill. If not, I will use the mag drill. Perfect. Right, that's that post finished then. So got some holes drilled. It was easy enough just doing them with a battery drill. And then that plate that's going to get welded onto the end of the rafter lines up with that spot on like it should do. So yeah, that's that post sorted. I'll do the other dog leg one now. It doesn't need as much of a dog leg in it as that. Because the steel is wrong, the new steel, I suppose I could have got them to make it slightly longer. But I just thought it's like for like replacement rather than complicating things, getting them to make it longer or shorter or whatever. And plus I've already got it drawn on the cab to suit the right angle steel. So yeah, I'll just, rather than complicate job, I'll just make another post with a little dog leg in it. That's them bits cut for this post. This one only has 33mm offset. It probably would have been easier just to make a spacer, but I'm sort of committed to the post now. I didn't really want to make a spacer because I didn't really want to alter, like, you know, it wouldn't really alter any of the geometry or anything. I just thought it'd be easier. Well, I didn't think it'd be easier, I don't know. We've gone with that idea anyway, altering the post rather than... Thinking about it now, it would have been easier just to make a spacer to go in between there and add a straight post with a 30mm spacer. But yeah, we're altering the post now, so you've seen me do the other one, so I'll quickly get this one done, and then yeah, we'll go from there. That's that post finished as well. So I welded up. That probably looks better than a spacer. A bit more work, but anyway, I don't know. Done now, so yeah, we'll get on with the other two end ones. So I've just got my real cheap laser level out. I'm just doing a bit of laser leveling just to see how much fall there is in the concrete. And so if I measure, that's set there level now. If I measure that there, the laser onto there, we've got about 525 ish. So that's that end. Then I've come to this end where the other post is going to go. I've got like 385. So 385 take away 525 gives me 140mm, is it? So if I make these two end posts 140mm shorter, should be near enough level. So yeah, I'll do the other end two posts 140mm shorter and then we should be right. Right, I've got them other two posts made, just them straight posts, just nice and straightforward. So yeah, that's all 4 of the posts done. So one of these rafters needs to be cut down a little bit to 2238, and the rest of them are full size. The other 3 will be 2460. So, but they haven't come yet, so I might as well get this one cut down. I can reuse one of the old ones that cut at the wrong angle and cut that to the right angle and shorten it, and then that'll do for that one. I've got my saw set at 12 degrees and yeah, cut that down. That's them cut off at 12 degrees, 11.9, 12, near enough. And there's these end plates to weld on, and then I'll have to work out where my cleats are going to go for the purlins, which are them plates. There'll be the cleats that I weld on. Right, that's that first rafter welded up. Nice and simple, straightforward. This does need a wind brace bracket welding in here, but I haven't got them cut out yet. So I've been basing my design off this one. This one is one on eBay, which is a 20 foot by 20 foot by 8 steel shed. So this is sort of what I based mine off. The sheds are all pretty much the same anyway. But as you can see, he's got a wind brace across there, and then 2 in the rafters, and then 1 across there as well. So on my CAD drawing, I've just drawn up some plates that will weld into the rafter, and then that is 40 by 40 by 3 box section, and I'm going to put it on its diamond shape, and then these plates will weld onto the box and then bolt to these plates that are welded into the rafters, and then that'll be 5.8 112 millimeters long, and then they are, I think I had them spaced 150 mil off the end of the rafter, and then hopefully once it's all welded in, they should bolt straight in. I've got 3 of them plates cut out already out of there. I just need to cut another 3 of them out, and then the plates that bolt into the legs might be different, so I'll draw them separate, but I'll cut 4 of the plates out that bolt to these that will weld into the rafters. So I'll get them cut out, and then I'll bring the box section in, cut that to length, and then get them welded on to the box, and then the flanges or the cleats welded into the rafters. And then hopefully by the time I've got that done, the new replacement steel should be here. The other steel has just turned up to make the rafters with, so I think I'll carry on with them. Yeah, this one's finished now. I've got that other bracket welds on there. So yeah, I'll carry on with them. I've just been to get me timbers that I need this morning. So they are like 195 by 75 or 8x3s, 6 metre long. They look longer for some reason, but yeah, it's definitely 6 metre that I need. I just wanted to get them before I cut the wind braces, just to make sure that they are 6 metre and not longer or shorter, but they are near enough bang on 6 metre. So I'll get this box section cut down to 5.8 metres or whatever I needed, and then get the wind braces made. Oh, I forgot to say as well that that rafter's finished, so there's, yeah, all that steelwork's done. Now I've got this cut to length, and I've just cut some squares out that I'll weld in the end like that, and then these plates will weld on there like that. Right, that's that one done and welded up both ends, both sides. So another one to make at that length, and then I have one to make it slightly longer for the sides. So there'll be one that goes across there like that, looking in from the side. I'm not going to put one in at the other side because my kitchen window is here and I don't want it to be across the kitchen window. So yeah, I think it'll be strong enough for just one in. If need be, I can either fasten the posts to the wall, or I'll work out where my window is and I might be able to put one in afterwards, but for now I'll just leave it and just put one in. And then that one measures 5'8", 5'1" instead of 5'8", 1'2". So this one is slightly more to the top of the post and slightly more to the bottom of the post, so that's why that one's a bit longer. I've just realised that something I didn't take into consideration. Because this rafter is shorter than that one, means this post needs to be slightly longer than that one, which I forgot about, and I've just made both posts the same length. It is a bit annoying when I've got the measurements here. I just didn't think, I just thought both posts would be the same length. I forgot about that. But anyway, here's what it is now. I can soon sort that out by putting a spacer under it. And because that post might be higher than it is in my drawing, it'll mean where I have the cleats drawn for the wind brace might be in a different place, so I'm not going to weld them on yet. I'll get the posts fastened down to the concrete, and then I can weld them on around there if I need to do. Well, I will need to do. And then they're in the right place. I don't want to weld them on now and then them not be in the right place. And so for now, that's all the fabrication done. 3 of them wind braces made, all the posts made. So I'll give these a clean up now and then I'll get some paint on them. And then there's a bit of concreting to do for one of the posts near the drain. I need to get the old broken bit out and then re-concrete a bit for one of the posts to sit on. And then once that's done, I think I can start putting it up. I haven't ordered any roof sheets yet, but I'll get the purlins put on and the frame up, and then I'll order the roof sheets to the right length. Now, maybe it's a bit excessive making a steel frame building just for a carport, but that's sort of what I know. If you're a joiner, you'd have made it out of wood. But yeah, I thought I'd take a bit of time off work this week to get this made, otherwise if I don't make the time to make it, it'll never get made. I'm not sure when I'll get the actual shed put up, hopefully sooner rather than later. I'm not sure whether it'll be next video or in a few videos time. But that's all for this week. Hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.